What's up, guys? This is JC Squared here, and I'm here to tell you, well, number one, I'm about to graduate. So, as you can see, I have my graduation cap here. It's pretty cool, right? I hope you like it. It's got some embroideries. But point is, the reason I'm making this video is I thought I'd tell you about this little thing we did over the entire semester of the entire semester. So we made a Hot Wheels collector's app. Now, once you click it, you can basically, I know it's going to be a little weird, you can basically check your collection, and right now it's only 2022 forever. This is the last chance I'm actually going to show this off because it only lasted for 7 days on my iPhone because we can't download it anywhere because, of course, you need $99 for iOS development stuff. Yada 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 yada. Anyway, point is, it just tracks your collection and it even has a little website. The website will be linked below, so you can actually view the website if you would wish. It's pretty cool. I'll link that down below, and it's just sort of just some information on us as a team. You can even view an entire catalog of 2022 models. I mean, the same thing as Fandom. We basically took what Fandom had and just did it ourselves on our own website. Going back to the app is actual app, by the way. This isn't like this isn't a website. It's an actual app. So it is real. And what's neat is that you can go to your collection. Don't hit the delete all because otherwise it'll go all away. And boom, you can view your entire collection, which I thought was really cool, especially if you're trying to show off, you know, to your friends, or maybe, you know, if you're just trying to keep track of it yourself. And what's really cool is that some of these even have AR functionality. So the Tesla Cybertruck is in my favorites because it has AR functionality. And you can view an AR demo. So it has augmented reality, which is pretty cool that you can see inside like the Cybertruck and stuff. Isn't that sweet? Yeah, there you go. It's a little finicky, but you know, you get the point. It's just neat, and it has all the information from Fandom on there, so it's pretty cool. And then you were going to the store, mind you. If you go into the store, you could hit wish list, and then in the wish list, you could go to my wish list and just be like, oh, this is what I'm looking for. So then, if you find it, you can hit that collect button, and then if you don't find it or you don't want it anymore, you can hit delete. And then you have search, which, I mean, I originally thought search to be something as like, I'm looking for the super treasure hunt of the B case or the A case. Now we weren't able to implement cases, but we were able to implement rarity at least. So you can search for super treasure hunts. You're just going to get all of them. It's not going to tell you what case it is, unfortunately. But you can still search by name and line, and like if you were to want a main line or red line club, the premiums, unfortunately we didn't get that data, so it doesn't work. But also we have store on here, so if it was like a store exclusive like from Target or Walmart, you know, it would also be there. And so the search all feature has 252 cars, or however many it is that are in the lineup, you know, a little bit RLC some. But yeah, I thought it would be really cool to show that off, and I wanted to get people's thoughts and opinions on the app. So I went to JCarDiecast here in Houston. I was only able to get to speak to one person because, you know, people just aren't willing to speak sometimes, but that's okay. I was glad I got some feedback from him. And then after that, I'm going to show you the entire presentation that we gave for our team members that helped develop this, because this was not just me. This was, in fact, it really wasn't me at all, I feel like. I just came up with the idea. I did a little bit of programming, but really all the credit goes to my teammates, and you'll see them in that presentation. Now, this presentation is actually the first one we did, so we did 2 presentations. One of them was in front of just the classmates that we had that year. The second one was in front of all the classmates from both classes, so we hadn't met the other group yet. And then also, I think, board members from U of H Clear Lake. So you'll get to see that. It's about 20 minutes. It's pretty lengthy. But, you know, I mean, we did make it a little bit shorter and more concise on that second presentation. I think we ended up being about 14-15 minutes. Unfortunately, I didn't record that, so you're just gonna get what you get with this. I know this is gonna be a long-winded video, but I thought I'd let you know anyway. So the first clip is gonna be JCarDiecast, at JCarDiecast, I should say, and just, you know, what does a collector think of this, other than me as someone that was a developer? What does just an ordinary collector think of this? And I know I also went on Instagram and YouTube and the Shorts feature and TikTok and all that to ask, would you download this app? And a lot of you said yes. A lot of you said yes. I can really put some of the comments up here maybe. But a lot of people were like, where can I download this? And in fact, even in one of my presentations, the second one, I had about 3 people just say, hey, can we download this? And I'm like, no. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't want to get copyright claimed or anything like that on the App Store, plus $99 a year. We just don't have that money. So you're going to see later on my entire amazing team in the presentation. And then right now you're going to see a clip from JCarDiecast's store, and I hope you enjoy this. It was sort of a small video. It's just sort of celebrating, I'm about to graduate this week. If you want to watch that live, I'll be linking a live stream down below. It's on this Saturday. It is December 10th. So on December 10th at 10 a.m. CST time, Central Standard Time, you could see me walk if you want to. It's up to you guys. I don't know. You guys, it's whatever. If you like watching my live streams, I thought I'd let you know that there was a live stream of that. So if you're up for it, you can watch it. If not, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Basically, this is my graduation video. As just, this is something we did at graduation, or for graduating. Basically, Hot Wheels is going to help me graduate. Let's give you the next clip. Just go to the next clip. Hi, I'm JC Squared. This is JCarDiecast. I'm here with Ulysses, right? Yes. And I'm just seeing what people think of the Hot Wheels app. So I want to show you this. And so here it is. This is the home. You can see it's like, welcome, check out all the new releases. Here's a collection. This is what's in my collection from 2022. I can view my favorites. Yes, a Cybertruck is one. I can also see it in virtual reality if I wanted to. And then if you were going to the store or something, you could have a wish list. And if you didn't know what you wanted, you could check the search, you could filter, search all, stuff like that. So what do you think? Would you use this?
I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, like if I had like a pretty big collection, I would definitely use it. Cause definitely like knowing what you have, like let's say you come into a hobby store, you have like, because we do have people that come in here and they have so much stuff, they don't know if they have one of them already. I think that could be useful for them saying like, oh, I do have this one, I don't need to get it, and so on and so forth. And I think it's really cool, the AR thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
you can mess with it if you want. Just don't hit delete all. That's the only button. I don't want you to hit the delete all button. That would be really bad. You just gotta be really gentle with it. Some of it is a little finicky because
name. Does it go by like
the car name?
The car name.
Yeah, car name. It would be car name. Yeah, it's a little finicky, like I said. It doesn't. It's not totally formatted for my phone. We formatted it for like a pro phone, not a pro phone, like one of the plus phones. And so my phone's a little bit smaller than that.
Okay, so you might need to help me out.
So it probably just didn't show up.
Like
a premiums. I think some premiums aren't in there. Like we only have like mainly the main lines. So you could still look up Ford, but I don't know if you're gonna find GT. That's a 17 one. You could add it to your wish list, like so. But if I found it at the moment and I was adding it, I could add it to my collection and remove it from the wish list like that.
That's pretty cool.
So, I mean, yeah, I know it's a little finicky, like I said.
Yeah.
But, if there was like a better version of this, would you use it?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mainly collect premium, so that's my thing. But I'm sure people that collect basics or super treasure hunts, I'm sure they would benefit from this, especially since how big the mainline set is.
Yeah. There's 252 cars in there, and this doesn't use internet. It's all just in the phone. Yeah, it's all from a database in the phone. So yeah, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
And that's about it. That's all I got.
Alright, thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Hot Wheels Collection app. We are the Flaming Five. My name is Justin Curtis.
I'm Shannon D'Souza.
Felix Torres.
I'm Gonzales.
And I'm Mikal Pennington.
And today we're going to be discussing our Hot Wheels application for iOS and for the small info website that we have attached to it. I'm going to pass it off to Mikal, who's going to start us off with the abstract.
So to begin with our abstract, the problem that we were wanting to address with this app is that Hot Wheels collectors for years have lost track of what they do and don't have when hunting, or for Hot Wheels or showing their friends, what they do and don't have. And our solution we hope to provide is that the app will help collectors keep track of what they have and check for what they want. For our vision, mission, goal, and ground rules, our vision was making collecting simple from Hot Wheels and beyond. For our mission, we're a team of tech students coming together to create a user-friendly app that can hopefully provide a useful organizational tool to the common Hot Wheels collector. As for our goal, we wanted to work as a team to create a well-polished iOS app that is user-friendly and super simple. Some of the ground rules we had established was, our meetings once a week with the occasional task discussions via our Discord chat, proper communication, because it's always nice to have when you're working with a team, and then, treat each other with respect. As for our team charter, roles and responsibilities, we have Justin, who was, our team leader, graphics and presentation manager, and our Swift programmer. For Shannon, he was our C programmer, database programmer, as well as John. And then me, I was mostly the coordinator, scribe, and timekeeper. And then Felix was our Swift programmer and database programmer. As for our vision and scope, our vision is to allow collectors the freedom to collect whenever they want, wherever they want. So we want collectors to be able to go in stores with only a digital device in hand, preferably a phone, and be able to see the items that they do and do not have to make it an easier experience for them. This will make it easier for collectors to collect items and also share their collection data with others. As for our requirements, these are going to be our functional requirements. They range from FR1 to FR11. Some of them included, adding a model to a collection or a wish list or favorites. We also have viewing cards on your wish list, favorites, deleting cards from certain lists. We also had our website on there, and then viewing detailed card information. As for our non-functional requirements, those range from NFR1 to NFR6, and all of these were categorized into a few different descriptions, such as like availability, efficiency, flexibility, and so on. Some of these non-functional requirements included screen adjustments, downloadable, app compatibility with the modern iOS, and availability of our website. So now I'm going to pass it back to Justin so he can continue with our presentation.
Thank you. So again, we're going to be talking about what exactly are sort of deliverables and who's going to be working on them. For our iOS application, it was me and Felix for the most part. For database, it was going to be Felix, Shannon, and John. For website, it was going to be Shannon and John. And for documentation, it was going to be me and Mikal. For some of the resources that we had to use, we had to have access to that lab room 158A, which was our Mac lab, which was available for us so that we could actually use some of the devices there to actually develop on. The U of H database and application for the database and website was also a big thing for hosting and being able to access it. And lastly, we needed Discord and the Google environment, which are our primary means of communication and file transfer. Now this was our project plan, work breakdown structure, so we had to have these ready for the actual app and website to be completed. So it goes as follows. We have our detailed card views, our wants, our collection, and our favorites, and those go up into functioning collections implementation, functioning search implementation, which then that goes up to a functioning iOS app. And then for the info website, we have our, actually it's easier to do this, we have our help information on using the app, and that's going to be for a functioning UI and pages, which is going to be created a website, and now we have a total 1.0 system. And for some of our risk plans, this was just a couple of them. And the first one is unable to implement essential features before deadline. We wanted to make sure that the actual mandatory features that we wanted were available to work before today, and they do, so that's good. Now the probability of this was actually a 3, which is pretty high, and the priority of course was then 30, so we wanted to make sure that we focused on the proper necessary things that actually create the app. And then the outcome would be, we actually have a well-featured app. Now the second one, was files getting lost or discarded or something happens to them. Probability was 1 because, I mean, we don't have too bad of systems now. They don't just crash automatically. But just in case, we backed up our files on iCloud, on Google Cloud. I mean, we backed it up everywhere and on physical systems as well. And then if we were unable to access the lab, which did sometimes happen as other classes were in there when we needed it, so that was actually high probability, and it was a high priority as well. Trying to schedule it out was very difficult, and trying to figure out when we could go in and when we couldn't was one of the bigger things that sort of halted, but eventually we got over. And now here we had our project schedule, which would be the Gantt chart of all of our stuff. So before we had our work breakdown structure, that's all broken down into here. So of course we want to prioritize the app, that's why it's all over here. Now we did have an info website, you know, since it was sort of created on the side, it could be done on the side with the C# development, but we wanted to make sure that we, again, got this done first so that there was a little gap in creating it because this wasn't as high priority as the iOS development, and that will be seen in design, which I'm gonna hand it off to Shannon.
So for the design of this project, we're going to break it down into the iOS application and the website. The iOS app was made using Xcode. The website was made using Visual Studio. The database was filled using data from the fandom database for Hot Wheels, and that was done using Python in PyCharm IDE. So the scraped data would be written into XML files, and those XML files will be used in Xcode to make the core data model. That scraped data is also written to an SQL database, which will be used by the website to display the model. So in our SQL database, we have several entities. Some of them are cars, versioning, designers, design, and series. So cars stores all the car data, series stores all the series data, and designers stores all the name of the designers. Versioning data stores the versions of the cars, because some cars have different versions and different colors. And design stores the designers for each car. And this is the ERD for the SQL database, which will be used for the website. So the versioning data has foreign keys from cars, series, and designers, as they are the main tables. And the versions store the colors and the images of the versions, and the design table stores the designers of each car. And I'm going to pass it to Felix to speak about the iOS app.
After Shannon parse all the data and sort it into an XML file, the XML file was parsed in Swift using the XML parser. While the XML file was being parsed, each of the attributes for the core data model entity, for the core data, for the core data model entity, it was for the car data set entity. All the attributes were being stored. The way the acquired car data set, favorite data set, and the wish list data set work is that the index for each of the objects in the car data set are stored in an int attribute, in an integer type attribute inside each of the entities. And then once the user wants to access the table view of the acquired, the collected cars, wish listed cars, or the favorite cars, the index is pulled up and then the table view gets filled out. The same happens when the user wants to access the table view. For the main page, we had to remove the buttons at the top because it was messing up the navigation controller. The slide view works automatically. It scans all the images in the assets folder, and the slideshow was created. The navigation controller, you can access the search page, the collection page, and the wishlist page. The way the wishlist screen works is that it has a deletable button. When the user presses this, all the cards stored into the wishlist table view get deleted. Basically, the entity gets empty. If the user presses my wishlist, the table view is pulled up. The index of each card data set object is scanned, and the table view is filled out using the card data set entity. The detail view works in the same way. It sends through a seg the index of the card data set object, and then it fills out the information with all the card data set attributes. The My Collection screen works by the same way as the wish list, except that it has a favorites. Once the user adds a card to the collection, the user can then add it to the favorites, and if the user deletes the card from collection, it also gets removed from favorites. The search screen, it has two different search methods. The user can do a filter search. The filter search works by typing the text labels. Once the user presses bottom, any text label does not fill out, is not used for the filter search, and only the ones that are filled out are used. In the table view, there is a function that compares the text labels, the text in the text label, and compares it to all the objects in the card data set, and it fills it up that way. There's also the threshold, which pulls up all the cards, and there's a search bar that can be used to look up for a specific card. There's also, in the detail view, there's also an AR option. Some cards have the AR option. Those that have it, the user can press the AR button, and the AR view gets open. I'll pass it up to John.
So this is our website, pretty straightforward. It has multiple pages and about us, information, troubleshooting, and oh yeah, that's all. That's just for information. We do have a download app, but we learned that Apple only gives that ability to iOS developers, which are for professionals. So you will only be able to download the file through that download app. And then also, since we had time, we were able to develop the gallery section, which would just display all of the information about all of the cards that we have available for our application. So this is our testing plan, or at least a few examples. We had 17 testing plans, or test cases, and one non-test case. These are to cover all the functional and non-functional requirements that we had laid out beforehand. A few of them are, can the user view their collection? Can the user use the search filters? Can they add and remove stuff from their favorites? And one of the non-test plans where we wanted to implement AR functionality, but we were only able to implement 2 out of all the cards we have on our application. And once again, it is for every functional and non-functional requirement we had laid out. So each project has their own problems and triumph. We had split up the team, so it covered multiple purposes and functions, like the database, website, and the iOS device. So for the database, Shannon's biggest obstacle was getting all the data ripped from the Hot Wheels wiki. But he was still able to provide the XML and a SQL database for us to use. For the iOS application, Felix and Justin, getting core data to work with the layout we had in mind took a lot of time to implement. However, it ended up being pretty powerful, and it was able to make the process a lot quicker and more efficient. For the website, me and Shannon, our biggest difficulty was getting getting it hosted and getting the SQL SQL database connected to that website. But we were able to create it in a dynamic way that like allows, you know, in the future, if we were to expand the project, to add more like cars to our database. So some lessons learned, we would want, or stuff we would want to implement more of if we had more time. We would increase the AR functionality. It was very difficult to find and get these models and like be expected, or to get all the models for the cars we have implemented right now. It would be about $7,000, so we weren't gonna do that. We'd wanna create accounts, because right now it's pretty localized. Like you have the app, and then we would also have the website, but they don't really interact with each other. We'd want to be able to like streamline it to be, so they could work together. So if you update it on your website, you'd be able to get it on your iOS device. We'd want to implement a shopping feature, which would allow you to see like which cars are available at which locations, to make acquiring these pieces or these collectibles a lot more easy. And then we'd want to have a bigger database expansion, because right now we were only able to get 2022 cars, which is about 200 cars, but that's like a fraction of what's like out there right now. And so our project can be expanded to like all physical collectibles in general. You could use Barbie, coins, Funko Pop, Legos, Transformers, G.I. Joe, sports cars, and Pokemon cards, and collectible pins. But yeah, we just didn't have the time to implement all those. So now I'm going to hand it off to Justin. He's going to shoutcast the demo.
I think actually, how does it play? Just do that. Okay, sweet. So yeah, so this is the app. After opening it, as you can see, I already have some of the collection here. And then, you can check it, you can view details. And here, since I don't have it with me, it's a Tesla Cybertruck. And so that's an AR functionality, so you can actually view it from your phone. And I can show you it all the time, it's just really cool. And then after it, because I just want to show it off. After that, you can see that we have a wish list and the Vancinators on it. I'm going to delete that to show that I can add it to the wish list from the search. And so you can see it right there, and then I'm going to add it to the wish list again. And then once I go to my wish list, I'm going to go to the Vancinator, hit collect because I just got it. So it's now in my collection. And then you can see I could delete it, but I'm not going to just yet. And I'm going to add it to my favorites. And so I can go to my favorites and I can see it in my favorites now. And yeah, now I'm going to delete it. Didn't want it anymore. Obviously, it's not any important. And so with that, I'm going to go to the website, see about troubleshooting some info, maybe see what else they have to offer in the gallery, like that. And then I'm going to close both apps, and then I'm going to go back into it and show you that, yes, I still have my collection. It's right here. Still have my wish list, and I can still use search. So with that, I deleted search. I deleted my wish list. I forgot to say that. That's my bad. I forgot that was at the end. Any questions? Yes.
How do y'all get all the models for the AR functionality in?
So good question. There are some individual creators already out there making Hot Wheels models, and they usually sell them for about $35 each. But then again, not all of them are done, so you'd also have to hire the guy in order to do all of them. Now, Hot Wheels themselves, they have their own 3D models already ready, so if they were to implement it, they would actually have those 3D models on hand. Anything else? Love to answer anything else.
You guys said you had trouble scraping the website and stuff?
Yeah, so because we didn't have our own local database to host from or anything like that, we had to go to the fandom Hot Wheels page in order to just, Shannon scrape the entire page of all the stuff that was there for 2022 and then put that onto the app. Sort of the problem with that is that some of the data can be mishandled, and some of it we didn't get as much as we wanted sometimes, because some of the filters were limited in scope because of that. So we didn't have all their filters working because we didn't have all the data we needed. because of that scraping, yeah. Because it was necessary for the project. There was no way we were doing 256 vehicles in this. Anything else? Well, with that, me and the Fleming 5 want to say thank you. Oh my God. No way. I'm just shocked that this thing is working. Oh my goodness. It even goes back. Oh. Oh my goodness. Is Disney Steamboat?
It goes to one and goes to
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I got it.
That's weird, okay. But essentially, it does work. It just goes...
I think I'm having a problem updating that one. It takes a while. But I'm gonna fix it.
Okay. I mean, but it's so cool. Look at that, 256 cars! That's crazy! Oh wait, you did get some of the RLC stuff. I didn't realize that. Okay, sweet. Holy moly. Alright, that's sweet. That's sweet right there. Everyone, give it a hand clap. Let's go. Let's go, Felix. Let's go, Felix. That's what I'm talking about. This is the best team ever. Best team right here. Go.
Yeah, that's not do it.
You didn't go with him, Shannon. You're supposed to race him. Come on.
1, 2, 3.